Hello, everyone. Dr. Vicky here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center. It's time for Taroscopes again. We're going to be doing the Taroscopes for the sign of Aries. That's Aries Sun, Aries Moon, Aries Rising for the month of July 2025. The Aries reading really is the most archetypically apt reading for all of us. So it's always a good reading, even if you're not in Aries, to take a look at because it really sort of circumscribes our experiences at the moment. Um, Before we get to the astrology and then the card reading, which I will timestamp in case you're not all that interested in the astrology, I want to welcome my new subscribers. Welcome to this wonderful community of like-minded souls. I think you're going to have a good time here. A lot of really great people. For my tried and true have been with me for years, I really do appreciate your continued support. We've gone through a lot together. We've seen a lot of changes over the years, and I really do appreciate you. For my patrons on Patreon, thank you so much for your continued support. There's more to come for you, so more fun to be had. Um, I'm finally getting the idea of having a channel and all that stuff under my feet. So let's see how we do. And to my new channel members, thank you so much for supporting me in the way that you do. It means the world to me. The more support I get, the more I can offer, and I really do feel like there's a lot that I can offer in insights and the like. If you become a member, you have access to all my old readings on both famous people, political people, situations, um, and there's more to come. I'm going to put some more deplorables in the basket and more adorables in the basket as well, different basket. Um, yeah, so join if you like. You can check out the membership, see what's being offered, and decide at that point. But I do appreciate those who have taken the plunge with me. Okay, so let's get started. Let me see here. All right. Okay. Oh, good. Okay. One more. All right, Aries, here we are. Boom. Tower. What's the tower doing there, Dr. Skirbo? Well, we are in a tower month. We are in the seventh month of the year, and we're in a nine universal year vibration. 2025 adds up to a nine. And so when we add those two vibrations together, we get the tower. We get the 16-7. The base number 7 is the number of know thyself. And I, in fact, use the top deck tower card, which is pretty, right? There's the eye of God. Here's the tower crumbling. Uh, this is in a way, strangely, a gift from spirit to break down the false personas that we hold so we can remember who we are on the inside. We are spirit having a human experience. um, the more aligned you are, the more you understand who you are, the more you understand what you are and what you're here to do, the less the tower actually disrupts you. It just continues to illuminate. So, but it also can be challenging. So I'm not going to blow sunshine where sunshine doesn't need, well, perhaps it does need to go, but I'm not doing that. Aries can appreciate that. Okay, so what's going on this month? I'm going to start with the sun because, that's what most people understand about the zodiac. The sun is in the sign of Cancer. For you, that is your fourth house. It is the most personal place in your chart. It's sort of a hidden area. The sun is being illuminated. The fourth house is associated with family. So you might have some family issues come up. You might start seeing things more clearly around your family. Now, Jupiter is there. Jupiter just moved in on the 9th of June and will be there until next year. It's there for a year. So Jupiter is an expansive energy. It's also a healing energy. It's an energy of understanding. It's an energy of freedom. Jupiter frees us from things. And as it moves through the fourth house, it can help free you from any residual sort of like family stuff that has been holding you back. Um, then on the 22nd, the sun moves into Leo. Of course, it's the ruling planet of Leo. And so it's very powerful in Leo. We have a new moon in Leo as well. We actually have the sun move into Leo on the 22nd. We have the new moon on the 24th. And then on the 25th, that sun will oppose Pluto. And that always brings an awareness around power struggles, or the structure of power. Like, so we can feel empowered, we can feel powerless, or we can come to touch, uh, to understand our own resourcefulness, right? I've had Pluto oppose my sun in my lifetime. It was one of the most difficult challenges for me, um, in my life. But what it did do is it gave me a sense of where I had power and where I didn't have power. And instead of wasting your time in areas that you're not going to have any effect on, you put the energy and the power, and it's empowering, um, on where you can have the most effect and do the most good. And that's what that opposition can help us see, even though, when we look at it, we're like, oh Jesus, right? Okay. Maybe you don't say, oh Allah, I don't know, whatever you say. All right. um we do have, I'm going to stick with the Leo energy. As I said, we have a new moon in Leo. That new moon in Leo is actually opposite Pluto, so a new relationship with power, perhaps. But Mercury spends half the month, a little more than half the month, moving forward in Leo. On the 18th, it retrogrades, and will go retrograde until the 11th of August, when it turns around and then goes back through Leo. It's in Leo for quite a while, almost 2 months, really, that Mercury is in Leo. But that happens um, when Mercury is retrograde. Where we normally spend 2.5 weeks in a sign, we spend 6 weeks in a sign. And this particular retrograde is completely in the sign of Leo, and Leo is about our creative self-expression, our freedom of speech, really. And so it's going to be a reevaluation of what needs to be said, how it needs to be said, what's the best things to say, right? We may realize that it's not about saying things against somebody else, because that's going to create a reaction from other people, right? And some of these people, you know who I'm talking about, right? Can be rather, upsetting and I don't know, tower producing, right? Or we can express where we have the power to make a difference and put our energy there. So, a key perhaps to July. We also have Venus in Taurus until the 4th of July. It moves into Gemini on the 4th. Not before, though. However, it makes a conjunction to Uranus. So on the 4th of July, we have Venus in a sign that she rules, conjunct Uranus, sudden change. Now, Venus is value, self, sense of self, sense of resources, resourcefulness, but it's also money. So there can be some sort of disruption around money. It is your second house. So your assets, your or it can also spark this rebirth of your resourcefulness out of necessity, perhaps. Then Venus moves into Gemini. And then on the 7th, so 3 days later, actually Uranus moves into Gemini. Uranus hasn't been in this degree of Gemini for 84 years. So, that was in the 40s, right? So that was a whole different world. And in fact, our world was kind of the world that we've been living in probably since that time is a sort of a world that was developed at that time. The seeds for it were developed, and now we're in a new paradigm, and there are new seeds to be planted. And part of that new seeds to be planted is this idea of Saturn and Neptune in Aries. Saturn moved into Aries in April. Neptune moved into Aries at the end of March. Aries hadn't been in the first degree of Neptune hadn't been in the first degree of Aries since 1861, and Saturn in the 90s, the late 90s. I think it was 97, 98. Saturn was in Aries, so they both moved into these new signs kind of simultaneously, which is powerful in its nature. Now, the relationship between Saturn and Neptune is one of the ending of a cycle. They have their own relationship as they every 36 years come together in a conjunction, and then half of that time they're in the opposition, right? So 36 is one and I don't know, two. What is 36? Two, 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 two. Um, half of 36. We have the opposition. Sorry, I can't do math in my head. I think I can, and then my mind goes blank. So I apologize for that because I do a lot of this like off the cuff. I sort of open up to spirit and let it in and see what spirit, my guides or my higher self, whatever, who's ever up there helping me out. I let them in, and sometimes I lose a few. I lose my ability to count. All right. Um, Now this Saturn in Aries and Neptune in Aries is in your first house. Now, the most exciting thing about this is this Saturn Neptune energy is dissolving away something that was birthed in 1989. 1989, the wall came down, right? And now here we are in 2025. And in America anyway, the largest like growth is happening in prisons. And so, we're a freedom loving country, freedom loving people whose intention was to be here to be free. And we are being, so that is something that we will be working against, I think, in the future. And that actually, when these two planets come back together, and they're going to this month, they actually go retrograde. So Saturn goes retrograde on the 13th. Neptune goes retrograde on the 4th. That's the same day that we have all that Venus stuff happening. And Neptune is the higher octave of Venus. So there's all kinds of Venusian energy, feminine energy, compassion, all of that stuff. But in Aries, right? So it's the willingness to fight for what you love. Um, those two planets are going to go retrograde this month. They're going to still be in your first house. You're still sort of getting intimations about the future for yourself and what we're moving into. They're going to go back into Pisces for a little while, and then at the beginning of next year, they both move into Aries, and they conjoin at the first degree of Aries, the first degree of the zodiac. This is a world point. This is a transformational point. So to even think about what we might see in February, we have to move through this time first, right? So it's not about the future so much as it is about the now, the moment, which is very much the Aries. Aries is I am here. I am here having this experience. It's very present in the moment. I married an Aries, so I found this out about Aries from experience. It's not really about the past for Aries, it's about the now. And so we're all going to have to be in the now. And you are in the now, Aries, and you're in the now, but with an eye towards the future, I think, at this point, because that's what the relationship between Saturn and Neptune are going to bring forth, that planning for the future while letting go of the past. All right. So you're going to be letting go of the past. And it's in the first house. So you're letting go maybe about some stories about yourself, right? And then moving into this new experience with, wide eyes and innocence, which is very much an Aries quality. Um, I'm sorry, Mars Your ruling planet is in Virgo this month, and it's moving through your house of health. So attend to your health, very important, your physical health. Also, it is the house of work. So you're actually going to get a lot of work done, a lot of precision work, I think. And perhaps, if you're a healer, which, a lot of Aries are, they're fantastic healers, there'll be a lot of work for you, a lot of healing to be done. You're gonna get a lot of phone calls. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. So I talked about Venus. I talked about Uranus. I talked about Jupiter, the Sun. Oh, the full moon, which actually happens early in the month on the 11th, is in Capricorn with the Sun, of course, in Cancer. This full moons bring illumination, and the illumination that this full moon brings is going to be around the issues of security, both emotional and physical, financial, and parenting. Right? There's a family-oriented energy here, and an understanding of either how you parent, how you've been parented, better ways to parent. Right? So all those issues come up with that full moon. So should be definitely an interesting month. Um, I think that you're well equipped for this kind of energy, quite frankly. In fact, the Tower card is associated, I don't know if you can see that, but there's the glyph for Mars. The Tower card is a Mars card. So this Mars in Virgo is very important this month for all of us. And for you, you have to make sure you take care of your health and well-being, because that's the best way that you can utilize your energy and prepare for next February when we're in a 1 year, a 10-1 change year. And we have a conjunction of the planet of reality and the planet of imagination at the beginning of the zodiac, creating the world that we imagine. So, what kind of world do you want to imagine? We're going to be given visions about what's available to us, and we're going to get to pick where we want to go. I know what I'm seeing in the outer world is not the world. There are parts in there here and there, because I do look for the light in the darkness, the little stars sparkling in the darkness. Um, but it really is about this pinpoint focus that we're going to have come 2026. So we have a lot of observing and a lot of choosing and a lot of choices to make between now and then. But you're no shrinking violet when it comes to going after what it is that you need to experience. All right. Okay, so let's get out of this. And I'm going to be using the Crow deck for Aries. And then I'm going to pull an oracle deck, an oracle card, Spirit Animal Oracle. So, all right, let's make sure I have them lined up. I just need to shuffle these off to the side so I don't shut my computer off accidentally. It never happens. All righty. So June has been a freak show, huh? I'm doing this in June and at the beginning of June, so probably a good thing to be looking at July before June really kicks in. Goodness gracious. All right. All righty. Let's see what we have here, Aries. We start with the star. This is about finding your guiding star. This indicates this is a good time to meditate, but to aspire. This is aspirational. This is Aquarius. This is about raising all boats. It's about equanimity. Um, it's about moving into the Aquarian age, a humanitarian age, group consciousness, the power of the people, right? All of that. This, in a way, is an American card, the aspirational America, as it was, perhaps not the reality, but certainly the aspirational. All right, so we have the star, the vision for the future based on a connection to source and spirit through meditation. Let's see what challenges that. Justice, balancing of the scales. Balancing of the scales. How would that challenge that? I would say that there are the scales are balancing now. We're in the process of balancing the scales, although you might say, well, it doesn't seem that way because it seems to me that the people who always get their way are still getting their way, and a lot of people are suffering. Part of the realization of the old age moving into the new age, the Piscean age into the Aquarian age. Piscean age is very much victimizer oriented, right? Martyrdom and all of that stuff. That is the old age. You know, you to glorify martyrdom is to stay in the old age. To actuate yourself and share your heart with the community to raise all boats is the new age, right? And so to a certain extent, we have to get so sad and feel so sad and so bad about the whole victimization uh, construct that we turn our back on it. We're like, we're not doing that anymore. Nope, that's not where I'm putting my attention. And where attention goes, energy flows. So you want to put your attention in what you want to create. Okay. Underneath it, the Queen of Pentacles. They are, girl, the Queen of Pentacles. She's been coming up a lot actually. She understands her own value. She understands how hard you have to work to have things, things that are worth working for, are worth having. Sometimes if you just give stuff away, people, get stuff for nothing. They don't appreciate it. I learned that lesson many years ago in my practice. When you would bend over backwards for somebody, they wouldn't show up for you. When you said these are my limits, these are when I can see you, this is where, this is the deal, then they make the decision to agree to the deal. Otherwise, they always feel like they can back out, right? So, all right. So underneath it all is a firm foundation. You have a firm foundation for this. In the past, we have the Seven of Cups. There's a little magical thinking, perhaps, in the past, or getting caught up in the lower world and the seven deadly sins. Or maybe you were deluded. You were deluded in something. So that's the past. It's good that that's in the past. Let's see what's in the sky. Um, I have the Five of Pentacles. I often see this card as a message from spirit, but sometimes it's the outside world. And this can be financial hardship, right? Financial hardship. But it's also a reminder to us that our abundance comes from spirit, not from the earth, not from the earth. The abundance comes, the manifestation comes from spirit. And so it's important that you don't forget to look to spirit for your sustenance. In the immediate future, we have the Six of Cups. So this is, I think, family time for you guys. Nostalgia. I think that this month will be a family month for you. Maybe you have a couple of, 4th of July picnics or something. I think it's important that you get to spend some time with your family this year. I think that's important. This month, I mean. How it's seen from the outside, that you are somebody who's willing to put their feet where their mouth is, so to speak, or put their foot in their mouth. Did I say that? Somebody who's willing to um, tell people what they think, right? Go out there and travel and spread the word, right? So you're action oriented. You do it because you believe something. It's based on what you believe. Your domestic situation, now we have another night, but this night says stay home and protect your crops. Um, this is saying that while people see you as somebody who is sort of on the go and willing to, take the reins, this card says stay close to home and protect the work that you've done, right? Don't do anything in a rushed way. Don't do anything in fact, there really is very little in this reading so far that indicates that you have to go anywhere, right? Okay. Let's see the hopes and fears. The Page of Pentacles. Will you be able to learn what you need to learn? Of course you will. Of course you will. Not a problem. And the outcome? Well, we have the Three of Swords, which is never a pleasant card. It is about heartbreak, so there could be a heartbreak coming, but it's also about freedom. You know, that third sword comes in and breaks the stalemate. So if there's been something that you've been holding back to do, or you didn't know, you know, how to move forward in something, I think Spirit's going to come and do it for you, right? Let's see what else. See if we can get more. We get the Five of Swords as an abuse of power. So it's very possible that you find out that somebody's been lying to you. That could be what this challenge is, the justice, is that you're finding out some kind of truth that you weren't aware of, and it could sort of knock you off your feet a little bit. Let's see. And then the Hermit. Yeah, talk about knock you off your feet. The Hermit is when we isolate ourselves to do some healing, to do some understanding. Um, so yeah, so there's it's not all it, it's not all butterflies and sunshine this month, but of course it is a Tower month. But you are in a good place. You are strong. You have your feet on the ground, which sometimes is not always a thing for Aries. Um, but just stay grounded. What these cards are saying is that the most important thing that you do this month is to stay grounded in your life. In your life. Okay, let's see what's underneath it. The Ace of Swords, that's the Ace of Truth, the Sword of Justice. It's the sword that justice holds. Ooh, the Nine of Cups, getting your wishes, and the Two of Cups, commitment, relationship, love, brought to its highest level. So whatever losses you experience is about freeing you so that you can have your wishes and your love and your sense of justice and truth, what is true for you. Okay. So, a little challenging, but ultimately very freeing. Okay. Let's see what animal comes up for you, Aries. I always find these very interesting after you do a reading to pull the oracle to see if there's a similarity, a theme. Usually there is, but sometimes there's not. So we'll see. We'll see. All right. Great. What do we have? Crow spirit. Okay. We used the crow tarot, remember? How did I know that was going to happen? All right. I guess I'm psychic. Okay, crow. Okay, here we go. I just want to focus on this. It's such pretty cards. Sorry about this. I know this is annoying. I guess that's good. Okay. As you look around you, you can sense the magic that pulses through the world. Have you witnessed how every thought can become a thing? How every intention can call the universe into action as the sacred laws shape what you experience? The universe works in perfect order. When you align your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs with spirit, you will want to crow with delight, feeling the excitement and wonder of being in harmony with something much larger than yourself. Crow Spirit says you are right on target now to see your dreams magically come into being in the visible world. The law of abundance, compensation, frequency, and praise are operating in your favor now. Remember to be grateful and praise what is yours, even if it is still coalescing into form. still residing in the invisible realms of co-creation. No matter what area of your life you are of your life you are concerned with now, what you hope for is on its way, for spirit is your co-creative partner. Focus on that which you want to bring into your life, and you shall have it with the help of spirit. All right. It's going to be an interesting July. Take care of yourselves, everyone. Be careful out there. It is crazy and it is a tower month. So be aware and take care. Until August, namaste.